Muslim brothers, and we never had any problem. Never, never, ever. So thank you, India. Thank you, Narendra Modi ji, that he came and he opened the relation between India and Israel. And I can be proud by both ways, India and Israel.
Right, absolutely, sir. In fact, we are playing out some live visuals that are coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to visit Yad Vashem, which is the memorial for the Holocaust, the global memorial over there, and he is supposed to visit over there along with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and we are playing out those live visuals. Obviously, this is also of great significance, this entire visit. It's the memorial. In fact, this is something that obviously the world is also looking at. This is Israel's World Holocaust Remembrance Center. It's something that obviously it's a reminder that that remembrance bridges nations. We have Prime Minister Narendra Modi visiting that extremely haunting and beautiful memorial that is there in Israel for all those victims and for a lot of people who we have to in fact remember. Let's in fact also introduce another guest who's joining us on the broadcast, Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava, Foreign Affairs expert. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to Newsx. A very good afternoon to you. Sir, when we are looking at this obviously historic visit, we have been discussing this over the past 2 days, how significant it is. But when we are looking at ties between both the leaders share a very personal bond as well. And apart from cultural and historic ties, we are looking at defense cooperation. That is something that will be of huge significance, sir.
Yes, certainly. India-Israel bond and a friendship is based on our shared democratic values, shared civilizational ethos, as well as our current scenario, our shared interest and shared challenges with both the nations are facing, such as terrorism. And obviously, terrorism is the first point which Prime Minister Narendra Modi touched upon when he spoke in the Israeli parliament yesterday. And obviously, India and the Indian view is loud and clear what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said, that there must be a zero tolerance approach against terrorism, and there should not be any double standards with regard to dealing with terrorism. So that point was very clearly highlighted. And obviously, when we talk about terrorism, this menace of terrorism, this our cooperation between India and Israel in the realm of defense, security and intelligence sharing is of enormous significance. And we have seen that what kind of significance Israeli defense equipments have had for Indian armed forces when we conducted our Operation Sindoor, and afterwards the kind of operation we did against the Pakistani military establishment. The kind of drones, the Harpy drones which our military used, were made on Israel. And Israel has provided us a lot of significant defense equipments, drones and missiles and various kind of other defense equipments. And in my assessment today, the kind of reports are coming. There could be more than $8 billion of defense deal which could be agreed upon, and I believe that in times ahead, India and Israel are going to have a greater defense collaboration. This trajectory of our defense and security and intelligence sharing cooperation is attaining a higher place. And after this visit, I am sure that our defense partnership will be much more robust than what it used to be yesterday. So I think this is another very significant point. Our defense cooperation and the kind of outcomes which we are expecting is of a huge significance. And this is need of the hour. This defense cooperation, security cooperation, intelligence sharing cooperation is the need of the hour. And both the nations, Israel suffered this 7 October 2023 terrorist attack. India suffered 26/11 2008 attacks, and both the nations have been a victim of terrorism. They have been facing various radical forces. Various kind of conspiracies are going on against Israel and India both. and both the nations, that's why it becomes imperative for both India and Israel to have greater collaboration, with greater defense cooperation, greater security and intelligence cooperation, and which is, I think, is going to be deepening in times ahead. And this visit is of enormous significance. And this visit,
Right.
and,
Sir, I'll come back to you. I apologize for interrupting you, but we have live visuals coming in where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is present at Yad Vashem along with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We also have the Yad Vashem chairman Dani Dayan over there present on the stage along with both the leaders, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to tour the monumental book of names over there. This honors over 4.8 million Jewish victims, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also participate in a memorial ceremony in the Hall of Remembrance. Apart from this, he will lay a wreath, light the eternal flame, and also sign the guest book over there. This obviously underscores the deepening India-Israel ties, while also paying a solemn tribute to one of history's darkest chapters. So that is both the leaders on your screens right now. That's Benjamin Netanyahu. We have Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Both the leaders present at the Yad Vashem over there. And along with them, we also have the chairman, Dani Dayan, who is present along with both the leaders over there. This is a very solemn ceremony that is currently taking place. It's a memorial ceremony in the Hall of Remembrance. That's the Yad Vashem chairman, Dani Dayan. They're all taking part in that memorial ceremony. Let me in fact rope in Mr. Benjamin on this. So we are seeing both the leaders take part in a very solemn tribute, a very solemn ceremony that is in fact underway at the Yad Vashem.
Is a memorial for our 6 million Jews who were killed in before the, I think in 1937, if I'm not making a mistake. And it's a very sad place. It's really, if somebody visits there, then he knows exactly what is what. Of course, we read books and we read the things about this incident that we had, the Jewish people. But I think when you go there, I think really the goosebumps comes out, and it's really very, very sad to be there. I'm so respected for Mr. Modi visiting this place, and I'm so sure that he will take some messages from this place that never, ever will happen to any of the mankind in the world. I'm so sure that I think that Israel is still suffering from so many things, and I'm so sure that this visit of Narendra Modi will come in the end of the day with a lot of good things towards Israel and good things towards India and the world. India, we must not forget that it's the biggest democratic country in the world. The people must take a lesson from this country. I'm so sure that I'm always, when somebody says about India something wrong, I'm very touched. And somebody says about Israel also something wrong, I'm very touched. And I'm so sure that I know what is India, what is to be Indian. I go anywhere in the world, first of all, I'm called Indian. And that is, sometimes it hurts me, but I'm still telling you, we are the biggest nation in the world. And I'm proud of India. Thank God.
Absolutely. In fact, Mr. Srivastav, we have a Prime Minister taking part in this ceremonial, memorial service as well. He has lit the eternal flame, and he's laying the wreath right now. We can see those visuals coming in live on our screens. He's laying the wreath over there. he's paying, it's a mark of respect, sir, that India, in fact, he is doing it as a mark of respect, you know, from the entire country for the millions of lives that we've lost, and to honor them as well.
Yes, I think this is a very solemn occasion, and obviously a very historic occasion too, emotional occasion too, because the world must never ever forget the kind of atrocities which were committed against Jews in that Holocaust, and all efforts must be done to ensure that this never ever happens again on this planet. And that is what should be our resolve and understanding. When Prime Minister Modi, the leader of the biggest democracy on the planet, that is India, visits this Holocaust Remembrance Center, that is of enormous significance. And the message also goes to the Middle East region and the entire world very loud and clear that India is a country which has which believes in the values of democracy, but also we respect the civilizational ethos, and we deeply respect the Jewish identity and the Jewish culture and traditions and their whole wisdom, what they have been propagating, and that must be given a due respect by every country, every citizen on this planet. So I think this message is very loud and clear, and as I said that when this kind of images come, it obviously makes us very emotional too, that kind of atrocities which the Jewish people had gone through during that Holocaust horror. So I think that kind of message, what Prime Minister Modi yesterday he spoke about this Holocaust, this entire tragedy, and today he's visiting that Remembrance Center. That also gives a very clear message. And I must admit and must say here that in this current time too, wherever anybody, any country of the world, if they are having any kind of a feeling of hatred against the Jewish community, they must immediately stop it, and they must not go ahead with any such kind of ideas against the Jewish community. And that civilized world will not tolerate and will not accept any such kind of a hatred against the Jewish identity and Jewish people. They are as equal and as brothers, as dear brothers and sisters as anybody else. So I think this message goes very clearly to all those radical elements. And also, when we are discussing this entire issue, I like to highlight again that the current situation which is prevailing between Iran and Israel and United States of America, the Iranian Islamic regime must immediately reconsider their entire approach towards Jewish identity and Jewish people and the state of Israel. I think that is a need of the hour, and I think time has come when there must be greater, dialogue and understanding between the various civilizations, whether Jews, Muslims, as Christians, and obviously when I'm talking about Muslims, Shia is included too. The Shia people, the Iran, which claims to be the Shia majority country, they must give due respect to the people of Israel. They must have dialogue with Israel. Why can't they have dialogue with Israel? I would like to again ask this question. If Saudi Arabia and Sunni majority countries, if they can deal with Israel, they can interact with Israel, they can recognize Israel, why Iran cannot recognize Israel? And recognition will come later. At least, why can't you have a dialogue with Israel? Why can't you stop having the feeling of hatred against Israel? Why do you deny Holocaust? Iranian Islamic regime, they deny Holocaust. So I think that is unfair and a very, unjust way of looking at the entire history. I think the Jewish history, the Jewish civilization, that must be given due respect. That is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday spoke in the Israeli parliament. And when he goes to the Holocaust Remembrance Day, the message goes again that India wants to see dialogue among civilizations, greater understanding between civilizations, Jews, Muslims, Christians, Shia, Sunni, everybody should come together and they should have a greater dialogue with each other. And that is the only counter to this satanic idea of a clash of civilization, which some terrorist organizations, they obviously propagate, and this terrorism menace can only be encountered and dealt and defeated with when we have a greater, a dialogue and understanding between various identities. I think dialogue among civilizations is the only way out, and that's only when we will be able to stop this kind of horror, the Holocaust horror, which the people of Jews community faced a few decades back.
Absolutely, sir. In fact, we also have some more inputs coming in. I'd like to introduce that to our viewers before I ask you some more questions. The Hebrew University of Jerusalem on Thursday thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi for what it described as his courageous words delivered at the Israeli Knesset, saying his address translates diplomatic milestones into deep academic collaborations. Reiterating India's zero-tolerance policy against terrorism, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, amid a standing ovation from Israeli lawmakers, expressed solidarity with Israel, saying India shares its pain and stands firmly with the country. He asserted that no cause can justify the murder of civilians and that nothing can justify terrorism. Last week, the Hebrew University signed an MOU with Nalanda University. A delegation led by Professor Guy Harpas, Vice President for International Affairs, visited India to further strengthen academic ties with institutions across the country. The university noted that the deep partnership between India and Israel is also reflected strongly in the academic sphere. If I can, in fact, Mr. Srivastava, when we are looking at these developments, we are seeing ties enhancing even in the education sector. We have the Hebrew University tie up with Nalanda University. They came over here, they talked business, and today as well Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are all set to talk business, sir. What, as per your understanding, will be the most important apart from defense? Because we are also looking at sectors like artificial intelligence and economic trade.
Well, with regard to our academic collaboration, I think that is also very important in the sector of education. Both the countries are having greater, engagements, and various universities, Nalanda University and this Hebrew University, obviously they are having close interactions with each other with various programs, and students from both the countries are getting enormously benefited, and that also promotes the people-to-people connect. And the track 2 level of engagements also it promotes when we have a greater, academic engagements with each other. But when you ask a question about the other than the defense and security cooperation, obviously our ties with Israel is of enormous significance for the sector of agriculture, science and technology, innovation, water management, and obviously digital domain, artificial intelligence. We have seen that in our AI Impact Summit, what we had in India and New Delhi, a very big and significant delegation from Israel had visited, and obviously they also shared their experiences, they demonstrated their capabilities, and I think this digital domain, the AI, quantum computing, and in these sectors, this emerging and critical technologies sector, I think there's enormous possibility for India and Israel to have. I think Israel is a country which is known for its innovation. As our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said, they are known and they have established themselves as a superpower in the domain of innovation and technology. So I think this is going to be a very significant visit with regard to India-Israeli cooperation in many other sectors which I mentioned. And I'm sure that when this joint statements come today, we will be seeing that we are having many multi-level cooperation in several key sectors between the two nations.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Srivastava, for joining us on the broadcast with that valuable perspective. With that, we are wrapping up this bulletin and slipping into a short commercial.